The rain poured heavily that night, painting the city in a haze of glistening streetlights. Liam Harper sat in the back of his luxury car, staring at the crisp resignation letter in his hand. It was official. He was walking away from Harper Industries, the billion-dollar empire he had built from the ground up. To the world, Liam Harper was a business genius, a man whose fortune symbolized success. But to Liam, his wealth was a prison. It had attracted people who saw him as a paycheck, not a person. He had experienced love that felt conditional, loyalty that disappeared with the slightest downturn, and relationships that revolved around his status. That was when the idea struck him. He needed to strip away the riches, the cars, the towering offices, and find out who he really was. More importantly, he wanted to discover if someone could love him for the man he was, without the weight of his wealth. It wasn't an impulsive decision. He sold his shares quietly, placing the money into an untouchable trust. With a fake identity and a small amount of cash, he left his lavish life behind. The destination? A small diner on the outskirts of a sleepy town where nobody knew him. The Harper Diner, ironically named though entirely unrelated to his family, was hiring for a night shift server. It was a rundown place with flickering neon lights, peeling wallpaper, and a permanent smell of burnt coffee. For Liam, it was perfect. One evening after closing, Liam caught her staring at an old photo taped to the office wall. It was of a man, clearly her father, standing proudly in front of the diner years ago. "He built this place," she said softly, not turning to face him. "And I'm trying to keep it alive, but some days I wonder if it's worth the fight." Liam felt a pang of guilt. Here she was, pouring her soul into saving the diner while he was hiding the truth about himself. But something about her honesty drew him closer. He admired her resilience, her refusal to give up despite the odds stacked against her. The first twist came when a familiar face walked into the diner, a former business associate of Liam's. The man froze when he saw him, his eyes widening in recognition. "Liam Harper? Is that you?" he asked loud enough for half the diner to hear. Liam's heart raced, but he forced a laugh. "I think you've got the wrong guy, pal." Kate, however, noticed the shift in Liam's demeanor. That night, she confronted him. "You're not who you say you are you?" she asked, her tone sharp but not unkind. Liam hesitated, torn between maintaining the lie and trusting her with the truth. Before he could respond, the diner's door slammed open. A man in a suit entered, looking entirely out of place. It was Kate's father's former business partner, the one who had pushed her family into near bankruptcy. "I hear you're struggling to keep this place afloat," he sneered. "I've got a deal for you. Sell it to me, and I'll make sure you walk away with enough to start fresh." Kate's knuckles turned white as she clenched her fists. She refused, her voice steady but full of fire. "This diner is all I have left of my father. I won't sell it to you no matter what." Liam watched the exchange, admiration swelling in his chest. But he knew this wasn't over. Not for her. Not for him. The man in the suit left with a smirk, his parting words hanging in the air. "You'll regret this, Kate. You can't fight the inevitable." The tension in the diner was palpable, and Liam couldn't shake the anger bubbling inside him. He knew exactly how men like that operated, ruthless and unapologetic. As the days passed, Liam noticed Kate working harder than ever, pushing herself to keep the diner afloat. She refused to let the looming threat break her. Customers had begun trickling in more frequently, partly because of Liam's friendly demeanor, and partly due to Kate's persistence in revamping the menu with simple, yet heartfelt recite. But the pressure was mounting. Bills were piling up, and rumors spread that the diner might be forced to close. Despite the growing stress, Liam felt something he hadn't experienced in years. A sense of purpose. Every late night, every exhausting shift beside Kate, made him feel alive in a way his billion-dollar meetings never had. One evening, after closing, Liam found Kate sitting alone in the corner booth, her head resting on her folded arms. He sat across from her, sliding over a cup of coffee. "You can't burn yourself out like this," he said gently. Kate looked up, her eyes tired but determined. "If I don't fight for this place, who will? It's not just a diner, it's my father's legacy, it's home." Her voice cracked, and for the first time, Liam saw the cracks in her armor. Without thinking, he reached across the table and held her hand. "You're not alone in this," he said. "We'll figure it out together." The sincerity in his voice startled her, but she didn't pull away. For a moment, she allowed herself to trust him. The next twist came when Liam received an anonymous letter at the diner. The handwriting was familiar. It belonged to his fiancée, Charlotte. The letter read, "Liam, wherever you are, I hope you're happy. I heard rumors about you selling everything and disappearing. If this is some kind of test, I want you to know that I would have loved you with or without the money. But if you found someone else, I hope she's worth it. Goodbye." The words hit him like a punch to the gut. He hadn't thought about Charlotte in weeks, too consumed by his new life and growing feelings for Kate. But now, he questioned everything. Was he running away from her because he doubted her love? Or was he running towards something he hadn't realized he wanted until now? As if the universe wanted to complicate things further, Kate's diner faced its biggest setback yet. A sudden health inspection, led by the same man who had tried to buy the place. It was obvious he'd pulled strings to make life harder for her. The inspector found minor violations and slapped the diner with a temporary closure notice. Kate was devastated, but Liam refused to let her give up. "This isn't the end," he said firmly. "We'll fix this. You've come too far to let him win." Late that night, Liam made a call he never thought he'd make. He contacted his trusted lawyer, revealing his whereabouts and instructing him to quietly purchase the diner's debts and liens under a different name. He didn't want Kate to know. This wasn't about rescuing her. It was about giving her a fighting chance. The final twist unfolded during a town fundraiser Kate had organized to save the diner. The event was held in the community center, with locals pitching in to support her cause. Kate stood on stage thanking everyone for their help, her voice trembling with emotion. But then, the man in the suit barged in, a smug grin on his face. "Your fundraiser won't save you," he announced, holding up a foreclosure notice. "The diner's debts have been sold to a new owner, someone who can decide its fate." The crowd fell silent as the man scanned the room, searching for the new owner. That's when Liam stepped forward, his calm demeanor masking the storm within him. "That would be me," he said, his voice steady. Gasps rippled through the crowd as Kate turned to face him, her expression a mix of confusion and betrayal. "What are you talking about?" she demanded. Liam took a deep breath, knowing this moment would change everything. "Kate, I haven't been entirely honest with you. My name isn't Liam Cooper. It's Liam Harper. I was a billionaire. I left it all behind to see if I could find something real. And I found you." The room was dead silent. Kate's face hardened, and she took a step back. "So, what was this? A game to you? Pretending to be one of us?" "It wasn't a game," Liam said, his voice filled with desperation. "I didn't plan on falling for you, Kate, but I couldn't stand by and watch you lose the diner. I did this to help you, not to control you." Tears welled in Kate's eyes, but she quickly blinked them away. "You should have trusted me enough to tell me the truth," she said, her voice breaking. "I don't care about your money, Liam. I cared about you." Before he could respond, she walked out of the fundraiser, leaving Liam standing alone in front of the crowd. In the following weeks, Kate focused on rebuilding the diner, refusing to let her heartbreak deter her. Liam, on the other hand, stayed away, giving her the space she needed. But he didn't give up entirely. He anonymously donated supplies and resources, ensuring she had what she needed to succeed. The story reached its emotional peak when Kate discovered a letter Liam had left for her in the diner's office. "Kate, I've made mistakes, but loving you wasn't one of them. I'll always be in your corner whether you see me or not. The diner is yours now. No strings attached. It always was. You taught me what it means to fight for something real. I hope someday you'll forgive me." The story ends with Kate reopening the diner, stronger than ever, and Liam quietly watching from a distance. Whether they would find their way back to each other remained uncertain, but one thing was clear. Both had learned the true value of love, trust, and second chances.